Welcome, everybody, to the Loud and Drunk podcast. I'm your host, Dan Ledgington the third. Couldn't even get that one out, guys.
Name's hard.
I would be your host, but actually I'm really more of the producer in this one. You'll find out about that in just a second. Joined again by Moses. Moses, how you doing?
I am right as the rain.
I don't believe you.
You don't have to.
It's a lie.
It's an inside belief that I'm holding because my body's a temple crumbling and needs to be investigated by professionals.
I believe that. And that professional may be Justin. Justin, how you doing, buddy?
You know what? I'm here. I'm having a good time. I will not be investigating Moses' body unless he does actually pass on in this episode, and then in that case, it'll be a very special one.
Wouldn't that be weird if I could die?
If you could die, that would be the weird thing, you fucking cockroach.
I am Moses the Ever-Living.
I am Gaylord Perry, pitcher, 1962 to 1971 for the San Francisco Giants. Super happy to be here. When I found out that Jimmy Houston Davenport was on this show, and also Willie Mays, I knew that I needed to be a guest. And honestly, I don't know if this one has anything to do with baseball, but I'm just very excited to be here. Wonderful. Nice to meet you guys.
I love that we're running down the list of the San Francisco Padres.
Absolutely. So, well, it's the Giants.
Giants, San Francisco Giants. I don't know anything about it.
I was, if you didn't just hear me, I was pitcher from
Pittsburgh is Pirates, right?
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
My goodness.
I'm just happy to be here, and my shout out to Jimmy, my shout out to Willie, and just very nice to be here.
This is so complicated.
We got to get all of you guys on the podcast.
I hope that we can get the whole team up at some point.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I don't, we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, it's sinking, so what do we even need a boat for anymore? Just learn to swim.
And we also are joined by a special guest, Justin the Mechanic. Justin, welcome to the show. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Justin. The mechanic is people call me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure actually why you call me that because I like to be referred to as the automotive technician. So thank you, Peter, for that.
No, you're very welcome. No.
We call you.
I don't know why you call me Peter, but
we call you that because of the way you look like. What's his name from The Mechanic?
That's Charles Bronson.
Bronson.
Definitely
Yes,
not.
He does not look like Charles Bronson.
I don't see a difference.
It's not a thing.
It's my looks.
He thankfully does not look like Charles Bronson.
Yeah, not for nothing. Charles Bronson is an ugly name.
It's an ugly, but he's such a great guy.
So we're clear. Also, I was told to be drunk at this podcast, but I feel like I'm the drunkest person here, which is fantastic.
No, I used to overdo it too.
You did well.
I feel like I'm pretty tuned up, to be honest with you. So we were drinking with each other earlier, and that was some time ago.
Smidge.
I'm more awake now than I was before.
That's because of the 4 shots of tequila that we
I
took.
thought it was 6, but all right.
But before we get going, summer's here and the time is right for stopping by TrueJersey.com. From t-shirts, hats, and hoodies, True Jersey will show off your local pride like no other. And now, Loud and Drunk listeners can save 10% off their first order. Just go to TrueJersey.com and enter the code LOUD at the checkout to save 10%. Thank you to True Jersey for sponsoring the program. True Jersey, stay true. Thank you.
Is that, what is that company about?
Did you not hear? Did you not hear the ad read?
I heard it, but I'm not from New Jersey, so it's confusing to me.
Well, we're in luck because now you can stop by TrueJersey.com and enter the promo code LOUD, and now you can save 10% off, like t-shirts, hats, hoodies, stickers.
I am retired, though, so I don't know that I have that type of disposable.
Yeah, but you're a retired ball player. You got to be raking in some kind of money.
I do have a little bit of a residual. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely. Obviously, I'm very famous. I was a pitcher. 1962 to 1971, Dan. I don't know if you heard my name, but it's first name Gaylord.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
It's 10%, right?
It is 10%.
10% off.
Yeah, I mean, what a
with
great deal, and thank you to TrueJersey.com for.
I don't know anything about it.
sponsoring us.
Those guys are menches.
Yeah. What is that? I'm not
Good
from
thing.
here.
Well, what? Who are you again? Gaylord.
Yeah, I was a pitcher.
Yes.
Gaylord Perry.
Yeah.
Do you not know who I am?
Yeah, you're the grandfather of Luke Perry.
I don't think that I'm a relation to Luke Perry.
I don't see why you wouldn't be. You have the same last name. And that other Jungle Boy as well from wrestling.
This isn't a wrestling podcast,
racist
Moses.
It's going to get there eventually. I'm still sowing seeds.
But before we get into all that, I want to encourage you to subscribe to this podcast. We are everywhere you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google, so be sure to subscribe. We're also on YouTube and Rumble, so smash that like button, leave us a comment, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channels. We want you to be a part of this conversation, so join us on social media at Loud and Drunk on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Make sure you are helping us out by leaving a 5-star review on Apple and Facebook. If you like this podcast, then become a Loud and Drunk supporter. You can find us on Locals at loudanddrunk.locals.com and on Patreon at patreon.com/loudanddrunk.
Yeah, get it, girl.
So, listen, today, guys, I know we have 2 guests in the house, but we have a very special guest in the house. He has my favorite namesake, Justin. How are you doing today, buddy?
Woo woo, I'm doing good. How are
Doing
you?
good. You look good. You know, you got a good vibe. I like it.
Have you lost weight? You look
I have lost
slimmer.
weight. Thank you.
You're looking good.
Thank you.
We're here. We're happy to have you. I think we're going to play a little game today
Ooh,
up front. And we're going to talk about, well, you're a big fan of music. Like really appreciate music.
Absolutely. It's
Very
my-
much into punk rock, right?
It's my life.
Yeah. So we're going to have a little chat about, first of all, some of your favorite punk rock bands. And do you have a particular favorite or a short list of ones you would like to talk about?
I mean, I have some favorites. Punk rock is like a. I mean, I have a couple favorites. Like Pennywise.
Pennywise, sure, yeah.
I mean, there's some stuff. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we will play a game here. And I'm a little fluffing over because I don't have the list in front of me. And here is...
We all need a good fluffer.
Yeah. Well, listen, underappreciated.
Yeah, very
underappreciated.
Somebody's got to get this show on the
the
road,
blue collar of porn.
if you will.
You know, we gave you a little bit of a primer, and you gave us a short list of bands. We got Pennywise. Was it Calabrese?
Calabrese.
Calabrese, okay.
I went to school with the Calabrese.
Thank you for that. Bad Religion.
Is that true?
I think it is true.
Shut up.
Something like that.
I got a list to read. Sick of It All, Agnostic Front, and Madball.
That's right.
These are, like, your favorites?
No Effects is on there as well, but yes,
Okay.
absolutely,
I like No
yes.
I do enjoy
Yes.
NoFX.
Yeah, I had to give this list up pretty quick, and obviously I was probably drunk whenever I put it out there,
Hey,
so you can't think
it
of all the
fits.
things.
No,
it's,
listen.
it's a huge
That's why you're on the
genre. It's a
podcast,
huge
brother.
genre.
I'm aware of all of those bands. I don't know much about fucking Madball, and I have no idea what Calabrese is.
That's cool.
But the
It's
rest
like
of them-
horror punk.
Is
horror
it
punk, yeah.
like a Misfits kind of?
They're better than Misfits because Misfits suck.
Does Guar count?
Dan, you're going to have to edit out this name. They're very Sue happy.
Yeah. We said it in their font.
You know what? Let it ride. Let it ride.
I
We
think,
said
what
Misfits in their font.
I think
and that's
Pete
not
said
right.
Isfits.
Isfits. The Isfits.
No. I mumble a lot.
But,
That's what happens when you've been pitching for as long as I have.
Man, Gaylord
You know what
Perry,
I'm
I
You look
believe?
more like a catcher.
Justin, what I appreciate about you, like, really, is, like, you're die hard on what you like. And you really showcase that, and I think that's super admirable. As, like, a person like myself, I kind of, like, flounder through things and float through different moods. But, like, I appreciate because you're very die hard on what you really love.
Appreciate
And
that.
what like, got you into, like, really, like, punk rock?
Man, it was like I think it was like 6th or 7th grade. Somebody actually made me a friend of mine. His name was Don. He actually brought me. He gave me a tape. I think it was like it must have been like a Punkorama. I wasn't. I don't know at the time. He made me a Punkorama, I believe, back in the day. I didn't know what it was. I put it in my Sony Walkman back in the day. Yes.
Name dropping. All right.
Yeah. He
Is that like a telephone booth?
sure was. Yeah.
More or less.
He made this for me. Listened to that thing back in the day, and once I listened to this kind of music, it like inspired me to. I'm not sure. More so, just gave me hope, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Well, it spoke to you in a way.
Yes.
Which I can appreciate.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's the only thing I can say because punk rock has given me the things that I can tell you. I do whatever I do in life right now is I can do whatever. It doesn't matter. I can dig a fucking ditch as long as I have music on my brain and the music that I love. I will continue to do whatever I need to do to
I feel that,
continue
though.
to make
I
that
believe
task
you can
happen.
dig a ditch.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking, man. It doesn't matter what it is. The work that I do, all I need is the music. All I need is the music to make that happen.
Music is a great motivator.
It's the music.
And if you're really into something, I think that's really cool. I mean, like workouts, digging ditches, if you will, or whatever the case.
Not for nothing. I actually
That was
vibe
just an
with the
example.
digging
Was it
ditches
a
thing.
Rancid
That's nice to take a
or
ditch.
song lyrics like when I got the music, I'm gonna be
Thank
all right?
you. Actually, I love that. Yes. Yes. Rancid is a huge one for me. I just didn't put it on the list because I was probably drunk whenever I gave you that list. So Rancid's a big one for me.
Well, you gave us a list,
I know.
and we're going to play a little game with that list.
Yeah.
So, of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bands you gave us, we're going to play a little game.
Oh, boy.
You have to pick one that gets to stick around.
Oh, boy.
All the other ones are deleted from history. You would never know them. You would never have any influence from their music.
And presumably then they would never influence anyone else.
Exactly right.
Can you repeat that
these
list
are all
again?
kind of the
Because it's
same genre, like
So,
time frame though.
Pennywise, Calabrese, Bad Religion, Sick of It All, Agnostic Front, and Madball. One gets to survive.
3 of those are just like right out.
Yeah,
They
there's
had very
2 that
little
I'm having
influence
trouble
on
with
others,
from keeping, but
I'm very curious of what your questions are going to be. So I think I'm going to go with Sick of It All because I feel like I know the most about that.
Okay.
You're gonna get rid of them?
No,
I
that's
want.
the one
I
you
want.
keep.
No, I want Sick of
keep
It All.
Sick of It All.
Oh, to
you
stick
keep
them
Sick of It All.
Okay, all right.
that's not where I thought it
Yeah.
was
So
going.
good luck,
but,
boys, because I know you don't know much about Sick of It All.
I know
don't know.
Oh, no,
nothing
we're not asking
about
questions
Sick
about Sick of It All.
All right.
We're just curious what, like, if literally everything else had to be deleted on that list from your knowledge, ever existing, influence anything, any feelings, emotions towards any of those bands, that's the one you would stick with to save?
Absolutely. I have it tattooed on my leg. So yes.
He's very committed to that then. Presumably the tattoo would disappear then as well.
I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, it would just be a blank space. on
Oh
his-
man. But would he remember the pain?
Yeah, the pain stays because
We're getting really niche into
You just look down at a pair of legs.
unset rules of this game.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? Cool. Sick of It All. I don't know that band.
I know a
what's their
couple
deal?
of songs of them, but like they're a good band, and I don't know the history, like their whole discography, but I have a couple of them saved on my playlist of their bits. I couldn't really tell you what ones, but
Sick of It All is a band from New York City. They essentially are the godfathers of New York hardcore. They essentially started the hardcore movement in 1986 with New York. It's the New York hardcore.
Right.
But yeah, they started that whole movement. Them with Agnostic Front. There's multiple other bands like Cro-Mags, Agnostic Front. I
Sure.
go on and on.
Cro-Mags,
But
yeah, Shame
Sick of It
69.
All is like the one that has stuck with me. It really touches my soul with the way, just everything, the music, the way, just everything actually.
That's awesome. No, that's really awesome. Have you seen that? Are they still around? First of all,
They are still around.
Okay.
They are doing their thing. They are still on tour. It's two brothers. It's Pete and Lou with Craig ahead on bass and Armand on drums.
So I mean, yeah, they're cooking on the better part of like 30-something plus years. Holy shit, dude!
Absolutely.
I feel like they just did a show recently around here.
they
I
probably
forget
did.
Who it was. It was like with some other
They tour all the time.
lesser known punk bands, but
I mean, that's incredible. You seen them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw them when Moses is talking about it, but I see them all the time whenever they come around. I make myself look stupid whenever I see them because you see your idols and you're like, hey guys, what do I say?
No, I think that's awesome because I'm not that way. For whatever, my brain just doesn't work that way. So it's like whenever I see somebody that had like truly loves something and like you see that like excitement and like the being like flabbergasted or whatever the case may be. I
Good
think
word to
that's
use.
super cool. Because it's like I don't know what that is.
oh, that's gonna happen when we go to Comic-Con because I'm gonna be like just the artists and
I'm
writers.
dragging you around like an idiot. Yeah, I get it. But no, I mean that's cool. I'm actually gonna. Do you have a particular album that you would suggest as like a good
Starting
entry
off
point?
point?
I think the album Yours Truly probably actually is the album that probably got me into them. I think how old was I? I was probably 18, and they've been a band for way longer than that. And
Sure.
18 was 2000 and 2 for me or something like that. Don't nobody do the math on that. I'm almost 40.
Don't worry, we're not a math podcast, so I think you're good.
But yeah, I think that was probably the album that did it for me. And once I heard them, and it like blew my mind. Like that music, just blew my mind.
I think it's amazing.
Now, have you seen any of these other bands that were mentioned? Was Pennywise, Calabrese?
Pennywise,
and- I've
Calabrese,
seen
yeah.
a lot of these. I don't know who Calabrese is, but I've seen a lot of these other ones.
Oh yeah, I've been to a lot.
Like, I'm not old enough to have seen Agnostic Front, but
So the band Calabrese that was mentioned, I've actually been to a lot of their shows. A lot of their shows.
Okay.
A band from Arizona actually. The Brothers Three, Jimmy, Bobby, and what's the other one? Jimmy, Bobby, and I can't remember the other
We
one.
won't tell them. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's fine.
they're probably not listening.
Davey, I'm sorry, it's Davey. I always forget his name.
always
Actually,
Davey.
there's a story behind that.
Isn't it always Davey?
Any good trio or any good group has.
You want to hear? Actually, can I tell you the story real quick? Now that I
Please.
forgot his
Oh,
name,
by all means,
I
yeah.
might as well tell you the story real quick. So anyway, I was invited to actually introduce them at a bar.
Yeah.
I was actually invited to introduce them at a show that we went to. He said, "Hey, come up and introduce us." I'm like,
That's
"Okay."
awesome.
They went through all their things, and anyway, it was like I don't know, a third of the way of the show. They're like, "Justin, come up and introduce us."
Oh, dope.
Yeah,
That's fucking
so
amazing.
I go ahead and do that.
I'm
Hey,
actually
no
hearing,
mind.
like, I'm
Hey, no
hearing
mind.
tremendous chainsaw sounds outside.
So
I feel like we're
anyway-
going to die soon.
They say, "Hey, come up and introduce us." So they finish a couple of songs. They say, "Come up here." I'm like, "All right." So I go up there and they're like, "Hey, all right, say whoever." I'm like, "So it's Jimmy on the bass." He does his thing, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, plays his bass, and then it's
little quick solos.
yeah, a little yes,
Yeah.
thank you, yes, a little quick solo. Then it's Bobby on the guitar. So I was like, "Hey, it's Bobby Calabrese on guitar," blah, 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 does his thing. And now I shit you not. So as we're going on, he's doing his little thing, and I go, "Holy shit, I cannot remember the name. I cannot. I'm on the stage. I'm holding the mic, and he goes, and I'm waiting, and I'm like, holy shit." I have to remember the name of the drummer. I'm like, I can't remember what it is.
This would be me, absolutely, because I can barely remember
Yeah, you're
the
like
names of the
panicking
people
the last
around me
minute.
right
Yeah,
now.
it's like it's written down in front of me, but for whatever reason, my mind can't fucking read.
So I'm up there, I'm holding the mic, and I'm like, all right, now I just have to remember the name of the guy. I'm like, I can't remember because he's finishing his solo. And then just before it's over, I go, "And Davey Calabrese on the drums," and I hit it on the mark. And somehow nobody knows that. I'm telling you, it was a brain fart like no belief.
Yeah. And you,
I
you
felt
got a
like-
little bit of grace in the end there.
Yeah,
but
as
Man,
long
I'll
as it all
tell you.
came
I'll
together.
tell you. My goodness, I thought I was gonna be like thrown out of there.
The sun shines on a dog's ass any day.
Thank goodness.
Anyone could win the lottery.
yeah, I guess fair. So I would imagine you've been to a lot of concerts, right? Concert shows, however you want to quantify sizing.
A lot
them
of
or whatever.
shows,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
All the good and the bad. There's been there's some things, yeah.
You got any fun, worthwhile stories to talk about? Good, bad?
All right, so I guess we'll go back to Sick of It All. So I went to a show one time in New York City. I'm not a fan of going to New York City for stuff.
It's a little rough sometimes.
Fair.
It's when you've never been or know where you're going. It's a tough whole thing to get there.
It's so easy to navigate.
It is.
Yeah, you take the train to the thing.
It's a
Just
thing,
take
and then-
the B61 over to the 754.
It's easier than Japan.
I mean, nothing is harder than Japan. We've already been over that.
So I went to a show. I believe I was telling our friend Colin at the bar before that I went to a Sick of It All show. I believe it was Terminal 5. Thank you, Colin.
Terminal 5 is a bitch to get to.
Been to Terminal 5.
Yeah.
It was a Sick of It All and the Cro-Mags were
Oh,
playing.
shit.
Ooh,
Okay,
that's
cool.
another old.
Cro-Mags cool.
Yeah, they're good.
So there, basically, what happened with that show was there's a person. His name is Harley, who is not part of Cro-Mags anymore. And Craig Ahead, who is the bassist for Sick of It All, was playing for the Cro-Mags that day, but he was also playing for Sick of It All as well.
Oh, that's a long day.
Yeah, can you imagine playing? Can you imagine playing for
legit.
two bands in the same day?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's exhausting.
So that being said, we go to the show. I believe Sick of It All opened. I can't remember exactly, but Sick of It All played. I remember seeing Lou. Lou was the lead singer for Sick of It All. He came up to me. He didn't come up to me, but he came around, and I always like to joke to Lou because he has a Dragon Ball Z half sleeve on him. And I like to call
That's
him.
cool as shit, he said facetiously.
It's better than Jesus didn't tap.
So that's fine.
Sorry,
but,
Lou.
But,
I'm just calling him like I see
so
him.
I always like to joke with Lou because I always call him Super Saiyan Lou.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because at one point he had good
of
hair.
course,
But he also had
Oh,
the
he had like
Dragon
Wayne
Ball.
Static hair.
Yeah, it was like-
it was
yeah.
just like
Yes.
kind of Super Saiyan-ish,
Yes.
but
Yes, he had good hair. Yes, for an old man, for an older man, yes, he had good hair.
for him.
So I was like,
miss
"Yo,
that.
Super Saiyan Lou," I get the high five, and also this is back in MySpace days. So
Oh shit.
yeah, so,
so
so
you moved him up to the top of your list. Like, he's in your top five.
this is true. This is true. We actually we talked via the MySpace. So yes, we
That's the gayest thing I've ever.
That really is like super gay. I'm into it, but it's very gay.
I don't like the internet. So, but
Yeah.
I've heard
Anyway.
that about you.
anyway, so we're back to the story. So yes, we talked. I saw him in the crowd. I said hello. Said my hellos. You get that pitter patter in your heart, like oh god, oh my god. But the guy like wow,
Who's the guy?
Oh my god.
I hope he asked me to the ball.
Yeah, do all the things.
First of all, it's a dance. You have to go to the dance before you get to the ball.
So anyway, that happens. He does his thing. He leaves, and then we're waiting for the Cro-Mags to play. And it was like a weird thing. Like the lights. We're waiting. It's a lot of a decent amount of time. And then the lights change. The lights come on, and then they go off, and then they come on again. It's like, what's going on? And then the police come through the door.
Wait, Sting was
They
there?
were just there to.
You son of a bitch.
The police come through the door, and we're
bad
like, "What's
joke.
going on here? We don't know what's going on here." Now, I don't know if this is an accurate prescription of or description of what's going on here. Now, I drank today.
You're on the right show.
I could tell by your cursive language that you're espousing.
So we're waiting, and then we see the cops come in, and we're like, "What's going on?" And then we see them kind of like go towards the front of where the venue. It's a big venue, and we're just waiting. And then we see this guy Harley. He ends up coming out with in a wheelchair.
Oh, shit.
With his hands, I'm almost positive. I could be wrong, but I feel like he came out in a wheelchair. He had handcuffs on.
Oh,
I was
shit.
like, okay, there he goes. I was like, that's the
Off
that-
to live his best life.
I don't mean to interrupt because Terminal 5 is terrible with fucking wheelchairs. Because I brought my daughter, they went to go see a show, and she was in a wheelchair, and it was just a pain in the ass just to get her in. Because they had no idea how to lift, just getting over the curb was astonishingly hard.
I'll say
And-
this. Normally, I'm opposed. I feel like these laws are overreaching about how you have to grant this access to people. But then
Handicap?
you hear stories like this, and it's like,
Yeah,
Jesus
you should
Christ.
have some
Have a
access.
ramp.
Just
doesn't
have a
cost
ramp.
anything else
It
to have
doesn't
a
have to
ramp.
be all
Wow.
steps.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. No, so yeah.
He had to vent a little bit.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So yeah, he comes past Dorian, and now you guys all know Dorian. She comes, so he comes past us, being escorted out in handcuffs, and he's in a wheelchair.
Cops found the ramp real quick.
We're trying to figure out, and we're trying to figure out what's going on because Harley was in the band Cro-Mags. So we're like, what's the deal? So
Is he like a heavy-set guy? Why
No,
would he be in a
no.
wheelchair other than
Well, I mean,
kind
he
of
could have had a
incapacitation?
legitimate
he was
disorder.
I don't know.
escorted out. So he leaves, and we're still waiting for the rest of the show to go on. And I don't know the proper term. Is it kibosh or guybosh? I don't know.
It's kibosh. Yeah, it's
All right,
with a
you
K,
guys say
yeah.
you guys know the word. So they put that on
He's
there.
Jewish.
So they put that on there, and that the show's over.
Oh,
and it's
shit.
like
Oh, so Cro-Mags didn't even go on?
nothing happened. We had to leave. We made the whole trip out there for nothing. I mean, we did get sick of it all.
Sure.
but we got
There's
escort-
that, but
The
yeah,
show
that's
was
kind of shitty.
The show was over. We had to leave.
Oh my god.
We ended up going to
I'd be
some
pissed.
local bar that we were already at. Originally, like, let's go back there and have some
Right.
drinks, and then figure out the train back into Jersey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you said that somebody was playing guitar on both sets.
Yes. So
But why? I don't know what part whoever got taken out of on what part he plays in Cro-Mags.
okay. So Harley, that's the guy who got taken out. So that guy actually plays. He's a founding father for the Cro-Mags. He's the
Okay.
bassist. So essentially, what happened was, now I could be ridiculously hard on the internet about this, but I believe what happened was Harley was not happy that somebody else was playing the bass in his band.
Okay.
Oh, somebody was playing his actual bass, and
So what was said at the time is that he brought a knife. He brought a knife and tried to stab Craig ahead from Sick of It All.
Oh shit.
well,
Yes.
legit.
Now,
Yeah.
If this isn't punk rock, I don't know what it is.
now I don't
this
read
is
the.
dark side of the punk rock scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was all kinds of rumors and all the things, and like I said, I'm not a a big internet person, so the truth is out there. I don't know. This could be completely wrong, but from what I was told is that he tried to stab Craig ahead from Sick of It All, and that's fucked up.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Could
That's what we're playing.
the bassist not cover, like, because the one guitarist was already in that band or covering for
He was
whatever
just salty.
reason?
He was just salty that he wasn't playing, and somebody else was playing his part.
But it wasn't his. Was it?
Was he out of the band?
I get it. He was out of the band. The
salty.
Cro-Mags kind of kicked him out.
Correct.
And then he's just there as a viewer.
So
Well, he shouldn't
let
have
me
gone.
let me
Yeah, he shouldn't have gone. And I get why. Like, I get that animosity. Like, why you would go just to fucking stab someone.
So let me verify this. So the Cro-Mags. We're not all here to talk about the Cro-Mags, but we'll talk about the Cro-Mags for a hot second.
Sure.
The Cro-Mags was a band. They were also founding fathers of New York hardcore. They did all the things. That was John Joseph on vocals and Harley Flanagan as the bassist. They were the band Cro-Mags back in the day. That being said, when they did their thing, they had a separation, church and state, if you will, between the two.
Gotcha.
When John and Harley like kind of went their own ways, they went their own ways. They were looking for rights, just like the Misfits. Just like the Misfits, Danzig and Jerry Only.
Right,
So like,
right.
just like that. So like, their band broke up, and I'm pretty sure they do a Cro-Mags, which is like, I think just Cro-Mags as a whole, or Cro-Mags with a dash, Mags.
right,
Where
right,
it's two
right,
bands.
right.
I could be wrong with this. You have to look up on the internet. I'm not sure exactly, so, don't hate me for that. But I'm pretty sure. I think I did it right. Face, you'll have to figure that out. I know Face, you know
I
it.
hope he's listening.
Listen, we speak in hyperbole a lot here, so you don't have to like verify every source and everything.
All good.
But
Except when I jump in, gentlemen.
Oh,
shit.
man. We've got a Dan here.
Dan's dropped in.
So, from the Brooklyn Vegan, former Cro-Mag Harley Flanagan arrested for alleged Cro-Mag stabbing at Webster Hall.
Oh, man, you called it.
Sick of It
I was
All
there.
Cro-Mag show.
Yeah. I was there. Holy shit, yeah.
I like that it's from the Brooklyn Vegan.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Thank you, Dan.
I love that you would never, ever, ever source this any other time than this particular
Love this, Dan.
occasion.
What are you talking about? I always source all of
Everything
the things
comes
that I
from
read
the
off.
Brooklyn. No, continue, please.
So this is from July 7th, 2012.
It's earlier than that, but
Well, I mean, that's when this was made.
yeah.
To follow up our vague tweet last night, okay, the New York Post has the full story. Oh, thank you, New York Post.
Yeah, thank you.
A former member of the hardcore punk band, the Cro-Mags, attacked two of the group's current members with a hunting knife in a
Jesus.
dressing room before a show at Webster Hall yesterday.
I was wrong.
That's okay.
Biting,
moving.
biting one and slashing both.
He bit him? That's badass.
The band was about to take the stage about 8:15 p.m. when tattooed rocker Harley Flanagan, 42, barreled through the East Village venue's VIP section toward the Cro-Mags dressing room, sending nearly 30 guests on the balcony into a frenzy, law enforcement sources and witnesses said. Someone was yelling, "Get his hands, get his hands, he's got a knife." Witness Dave Gustav said, "Everything went nuts."
Oh, my God.
I was actually told
Imagine
that.
being that guy.
I was
Robert
actually-
Gustav or whatever the fuck his name was.
I was actually told that the lead singer of Murphy's Law actually planted the knife for.
Really?
Yes, but yes, I did get that wrong, and I apologize.
That's
It was
the rumor mill.
It
But
was
whatever.
Webster Hall, and yeah, I mean, you've been to so many shows. What the fuck?
Well,
man?
listen.
Webster Hall is a good venue.
It was. It was very good, actually. Yeah,
I saw Pant and Plage at Webster Hall.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
From Led Zeppelin.
Oh, wow. You're fucking old as shit, dude.
Yeah, I am.
Dan, I love that you actually gave that reference.
Well, I mean, you got to look things up. Plus, you mentioned the Cro-Mags, and one of the funny things about that too is I really didn't know who they were until Harley Flanagan showed up on the Jocko podcast, and I was like, "Why?"
Oh, shit.
Shut
You
up.
know this
Really?
person?
Yeah, he was on Jocko Willing's
That's
podcast,
amazing.
and they went through this whole thing. So I'm like, "Oh shit, I actually know something about the
That is
Cro-Mags."
wild.
That is weird.
Small world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a wild fucking story.
Yeah, it was weird to be there because honestly, it was like the night got shut down. Like we had to figure out what we were doing. We were in New York, and it was like, now what?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Were you
it's
guys
not-
staying in New York?
No,
or you were just
we took the train. We were with a friend, and I, at that point, I never went into the city unless I absolutely was going with someone who knew where they were going because like I didn't want to go anywhere with
agree,
anybody. It was like
No, that's
I don't
fair.
know.
It's
so
It
easy to get
That's
lost
absolutely
there.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sucked, and it was like, now what? It was like, all right, we're gonna drink, and then we have to hoof it back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In New Jersey.
The only times I go to the city are because either your sisters, or
yeah, my
meeting up
sister
with
lives
them,
there, that's true.
or I know a couple of times for Allie.
We've
would-
ventured
Our
up
friend,
there
our
for
friend
some
Pat, who's
rally.
been on the podcast. He's in
No,
the city.
Yeah, we go up to visit Pat.
Has
Yeah.
Allie been on?
Has Pat been on the podcast? Yeah. How much?
Really?
No, Pat. I said Allie. No, Allie. I'm like, I don't think Allie was on the podcast.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not good with history.
I heard he's a buff.
He is,
I'll tell you things.
he'll tell you things, for sure.
Good things.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's all in perspective.
Well, I mean, speaking of concerts, anybody else got a fun concert story to drop in?
I have very little to add to this. I'm not a huge concert fan, but I will throw in the one concert story that I think is worth merit. And you were there with me for this one.
I believe I know
Going
where
back
this
a
is
lot
going
of
to
years now. I guess bring us up to date on who we were even there to say, because I have no idea.
From the stories I heard, it was an Ozzfest.
It was an
Like, I
Ozzfest.
wasn't there for it, so
Yeah.
Ozzy, obviously, and any band in that genre.
We were there with a good friend who I will not name, so I will call him Bob.
Yes.
And
Good old Bob.
so we decided to do a little bit of pre-gaming in the parking lot and got good and tuned up, which was nice. There was some shenanigans, and by all means, you can fill in on
I will
those
fill in
details.
some shenanigans, but take the
This
lead
was
on
at
this.
the Art Center.
This is this is at PNC Arts Center, and so we were getting good and tuned up in the parking lot. There was some shit that went down. It was pretty low key for the most part, I think, but I will leave those details to somebody else who remembers better than myself. So we were wandering in. It was finally like time to go in, and so I'm with Bob. We're walking up the stairs into PNC, and Bob, and I'm fucked up myself. I'm super fucked up.
We all were.
Yeah, we were all very tuned up.
Yeah.
But Bob was like really fucked up. And so he gets flagged like halfway up the stairs by security. And they're just like, you're too drunk. We're
Yeah.
calling the cops for you. And they begin escorting him away.
They took him to like a med tent.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm following him the whole time because I'm like, normally if I was sober, then honestly, I would have left any one of you behind because I'm not a good person.
When you're done with this story, I have a fun story about the Med Tent.
In this particular case, I had this extreme dedication to saving Bob. And so I followed him the whole way, and we ended up at this med tent. And so it's a security guard who's got this man in tow, who's got Bob in tow, and then the person in this little tent who basically has to figure out what to do with this person, send him to the hospital, get him arrested, whatever the case may be. So the security guard, I'm pleading with them the whole time, and I don't know why it popped into my head, but I was just like, he has Tourette syndrome, he's not drunk. And the guard, rightfully so, was like, okay, asshole. I'm like, get the fuck away from me. And I'm just sticking to this bullshit story because obviously Bob is drunk. And so we finally get up to the tent. And so it's the three of us essentially as a group. And the person at the tent who's obviously their only job is deal with this bullshit. So they hate their job. They hate their life, presumably. And
Nobody wants to get stuck at the Med Tent.
Right, yeah. And so she says to the security guard, what's the story with this one? And he opens his mouth to speak, and I just jump in because I figure it's just about who talks first.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, this man grabbed my friend. He has Tourette syndrome. He needs his medication from the car. He's done nothing wrong. He can't even drink because of his medication and blah, blah, blah. And it's so stupid. I'm shocked that I came up with anything at all.
Yeah.
And she basically looks at the security guard. The security guard goes, this is bullshit. These guys are both wasted drunk. No one has a disorder here. There's no problem.
Well,
other than that they
alcoholism is a
drank too
disorder.
much. And the lady who's in this tent, she just basically she took the story seriously enough that she's like, "Whoa, guy," to the security guard. And while they're going back and forth about it, I managed to get Bob away from it. So we managed to get into the actual proper stadium, which should not have happened, which is where the story is going.
When we saw you and Bob walk out of that tent free to go,
It was shocking. Honestly, that lady should have stopped me too. I was fucked up.
My jaw was on the floor.
Yeah, he was falling over. I was barely functional.
They're I've heard this story before. I wasn't there, but I remember a part of the story where he was pushing.
Oh yeah.
That's later?
Okay.
This happened. Yeah, that's exactly why we shouldn't have been let go.
All right.
Because we do get into the general area, right? So we're watching the show, and at a certain point, some people wander off. They're like, I'm going to go and mosh, do this, that, the other, whatever it was. Just bullshit bands. And at a certain point, Bob is like, I'm going to go and do whatever I'm going to go and do. Now, mind you, I'm very fucked up. So I'm just like, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. And he begins to wander away. And some of us have the bright idea, and I will say that it was reasonable. Let's follow him because this is not good. Whatever he's about to do is probably going to be negative.
For a little bit of added flavor, it was a miserable rainy day.
It was raining,
muddy.
Yeah.
We're in the grass section, and
the whole thing was pretty shitty.
It also should be pointed out that Bob doesn't get drunk often. Like, he drinks regularly,
he was
but
handling
he
it
doesn't
poorly,
get drunk.
So
You got to make sure your boy's okay.
yeah,
Well,
exactly. I didn't
it's
want
like a
something.
Black Hawk Down kind of. Like, nobody gets left behind
This
unless
is-
we have an idea where they're landing.
This is something that he wrought upon himself, but at the same time, you don't want to see your friend get arrested and not know how they are and so on and so forth. So he's on a mission. He just decides that this is like, I'm going to go and do this. And I don't know if he knew what he was going to go and do.
I doubt
he was
it.
going to go and do something. So we're following him, maybe about two of us, I would say. And so we're up at the top part of the hill because it descends as you get closer to the stage. And as we're getting closer, like his stumbling is getting wider. It's a pretty, like it's clearly, I knew at that moment that I was not doing something that was good for anyone, but I was already committed to it. And as we get closer, so like a lot of people, because it was raining and whatnot, they had gone to safer areas, but there's like this little, it's a lady with her two children, if I'm not mistaken. And I guess she just really loves the music. She was just like chilling, introducing her children to this
Young
music.
children, like
They were young. They were
Young,
about,
yeah.
I would say between 5 and 10 at most.
Yeah.
there's no reason for them to be at an Ozzfest.
Well, she brought them, and she did set up a nice spot away from everyone. So this lady, whatever she was doing right or
everything
wrong,
responsible.
she did not do anything.
She's
like,
not at fault for anything.
She's not at
that's
fault.
about to transpire.
And so she's got like a nice little like half tent set up for them, and the kids are being well behaved, and they're having like a nice time. They're watching these bands that I guess she cares about, right? Whatever. And our friend Bob is like picking up speed as we go downhill. and so you're just kind of keeping up. And once again, this is more of a criticism of myself because at any moment I feel like I could have done something and just chose not to because it seemed like too much work for me. I just like had this idea in my mind, like this will just work out fine. And
what's the worst that can happen?
as he picked up speed, he began to lose his footing, as happens. You're on slippery grass and so on and
It's
so
a
forth.
slope and it's muddy and
I watched in slow motion as he picked up this speed and eventually fell into the backside of this tent. This woman, this mother, and her children, their backs are to us, so they're completely unprepared for this shit show.
it's a
that
sneak
is
attack.
about to
Yeah,
unfold.
it's a sneak attack. That.
Yeah. So he just, and he's not a small guy.
No.
He just fucking barrels into them. And it's like, and I like stop and I'm like, holy shit. And my immediate thought is like, I should get out of here because there's probably assault charges against children. So all of my like
This just became a
altruism
felony.
where it's like, let me help my friend out and whatnot, that went out the window in
No,
2
he's dead to me
fucking
now. He's
seconds.
dead to me.
No.
And I'm just like, I'm fucking booking it. But at the same time, I was like so caught up in this sight. The alcohol obviously has an influence
It's
on
a
that.
train crash.
Yeah. And I'm just like watching this like full grown man, my size, a little bigger. He's like 250. And he's just on top of a woman who weighs 120 pounds and 2 5-year-olds. And it's a terrible scene for anyone. And he would feel the worst about this had he been sober.
Right.
But they're like all of it. It's just like this mess down
Carnage.
the mud on a slope. And it's just bad. And I'm just like sitting there in this like state of awe. I couldn't even hear the music. And I just like, it was like one of those freeze up moments where you just don't know what to do.
That
And
scene in the army movie when like an IED goes off.
yeah,
and it's just
and
quiet.
it's all in
there's
slow
like a
motion.
tin
Yeah, and you just
going,
exactly. Yeah, your ears are
I
ringing.
can't believe
Yep.
I watched any of this.
And in that moment where my brain was still trying to figure out the right way to handle this scenario, that's when Bob comes to in something of a daze, and he doesn't really realize what's just happened either, and he just wants to get up. And so he obviously needs to use his hands to push himself back up off the ground, the mud that he's landed in. And the methodology that he uses, because he's unaware that he's just crashed into a family, is that he just, like, there's a child in the mud right here, and he just puts his
The kid is
hand
dying
on the
already. Like he's
child's
drowning
head.
in mud.
He puts his hand on the child's head and pushes himself up. And in this process, the child's face obviously sinks into mud. Wow. And I am watching this as I also look into the mother's darkened and just terrified eyes as this lifeless shell of a man just rises himself up off of the husk of her defeated and terrified child. Yeah, and I really can't tell you what happened after that because I vacated that area.
We all evacuated away.
As I could.
Yeah, run away fast.
It was like low-key assault on a child with no intent.
Yeah. I will never forget the visage of the child's head being pushed into the mud.
It was shocking. I've never seen something like this unfold before.
It's funny because I wasn't there, but I have this vivid imagination of what I would imagine I would have seen if I was there.
It's like
nah.
What really like has always, and I feel like this is why I remember the story so well. What really sticks with me is that I looked into the child's eyes.
He saw a youth
and he was powerless,
ignited.
like not fighting back. There was no resistance.
He just
As
understood.
Bob just like pushes his face into the earth, and the mother was 2 feet away, and like she clearly wanted so dearly to save her child from this maniac.
It was
but
innocence
was
lost.
just like incapable of doing so. And she like, and we were all looking into each other's eyes, and like, and I feel very guilty about this, but like she looked in my eyes like, "Can you help?" And I was like, "I'm gonna go and get a hot dog."
That is the most responsible response that I
I'm
can
just
think
gonna
of.
pretend that I wasn't.
Essentially, your eyes locked, and you're like, "We're at a show."
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
don't bring
I'll
your
never
kids to
forget it. Though. I'll
Ozzfest.
never forget it.
Of any
The kid was fine, just so everyone knows.
No
It was
one died.
yeah.
He didn't aspirate
Probably
on
a little
mud or anything
traumatizing,
like
but-
that.
there's times you can bring your kids to show because I've been to Grateful Dead shows. Sure, like everybody's tripping balls at best, and but you could bring your kids to that because it's not a mosh scene and it's not heavy.
It's not dangerous.
Yeah, it's not
in
dangerous.
that way, yeah.
Like it's just a bunch of assholes being fucked up. Not in the same way that they're drunk fucked up because there is that, but it's more hallucinogens and
Right.
different and mushrooms and shit, and fine. You could go to the parking lot, get your kid a grilled cheese. It works.
Right,
Right. That's a big
Shut 'em up.
That's a big reason like I enjoy Dead shows is because of the music I love, but the parking lot that scene is so fucking odd and awesome because
it's like Carnival in a way.
it's like a bazaar.
Yeah.
That's a groove show.
Yeah, but like everybody's getting fucked up, like super fucked up, super fucked up. But like everybody's cool, like nobody's trying to hurt
Fucking
anyone.
goo balls and fucking all the
Yeah, and
all
fucking
the-
hippie crack.
Yeah,
Everybody's got like their
yeah.
little like half container of nitrous, and it's like it's fun. Hippie crack only lasts like 5-10 minutes,
Yeah. So you've been to a bunch of
I've been to a bunch of them.
Yeah.
There's one that I went to, and I only know this story. Like I went to the show, but I only know this story because of the other people I was with. Because I took before on the way up, I took a 10 strip of gel tabs.
Gotcha.
Like
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, I was like,
That was very facetious, just so you know.
well. Wait till I get to the show. And we had.
Build up.
I know I bought a 12-pack of Molson Triple X.
Oh, the good
For a
old
pregame. Yeah, well, that's what I was into at the time.
That's a Canadian love.
Yeah.
Canadian love.
And so we're like in the parking lot. We do, we get nitrous balloons and, we're fucking around there, like walking down fucking Rub It Up Square and shit.
Rub it up.
Yeah, they call it, it's a song
yeah.
thing. And
Yeah.
like, but, that's where you get your like fucking grilled cheese, your brownies. Like most of them are dosed brownies. The grilled cheese,
Is the grilled
Kind of.
cheese dosed?
some are. You got to know where to go.
Oh my God, I never
Well,
want to go to this
they
ever.
make it known that it's dosed, but like, and so they won't sell it to kids, but they'll sell
If
it
you go
to
to one
anyone.
of these shows, understand damn near everything's dosed.
That's fair.
Yeah, you just have the understanding that it is, and that's fine. You either pick and choose what you do. And I once I got in there, this was at the Tweeter Center or Campbell Field. I don't know what it's called now.
Oh,
the
what-
one across from Philly.
Philly, yeah.
And I was told
Guess
I
it's in
made out with
Camden.
goddamn everyone, every girl there. I made out with them, and I don't remember. I remember one of them,
Your special
all right.
one.
Well, and I think that's what my heart, my as fucked up as I was on fucking acid, because I took more when I got there too, like just paper.
Right,
which isn't really the fun. There's no difference.
No.
But it was still another 10 strip. I also eat mushrooms.
Jesus Christ.
You were a machine.
And
goddamn
I made
machine.
out
Explains a lot.
because I split with
Yeah, taking 20 strips of acid in an hour?
it's like
Jesus
25.
Christ.
He knows all the things.
And then the mushrooms were different, but that was to even out. And then I split out because I went there with a couple that I used to hang out with for a while,
Gotcha.
and we split up. Mm-hmm. But every time they would come across me, like in the wild of the show, I was making out with a different girl. And like I know, like, because I remember the one, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I talked these women into this, because everybody, like, I know it's a hippie show, and like it's kind of free love.
buddy.
but
What did you talk these women into?
Yeah.
it was heavy. Are
you hurting these women?
Petting.
Heavy petting? What are
You
we
know,
doing?
there's something I can speak to that in a way. I remember going to shows back in the day, and it's like you just like make eye contact with like a person,
You
and
just
it's
connect.
like something magic
Yeah.
happens.
It's a lot of magic.
That's how it goes. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. 100%.
It's
wild.
very bizarre.
100%.
And then you go off with this magical person, and you lose all your friends, and then
Yeah, but we always found each other at the
Yes.
end, because we'd always find this odd person that had like whatever drug we were in. Like they're just like, oh yeah, I sell cheap acid. Instead of $5 a hit, it's like $3. It's like, all right, the math's getting hard because I'm fucked up, but all right, whatever, it's cheaper. So yeah,
So we're clear. It's called Unity.
yeah.
it wasn't a Queen Latifah show. It was, and after that show, I get back to my house. I slept for 3 days straight. Aside from getting up once or twice to go pee, like I was
Only
just,
once or twice.
I was just in, like, all of me was like I was a thunderdome.
Before he had diabetes.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. This is when I just kind of found out. I was new to diabetes at that time.
right.
New to diabetes.
Yeah. Well, my father always had type 2, and then I get type 1.
You were still in the stage of
was-
reading the Wilfred Brimley pamphlets.
Yeah, I was big on Farina for a bit.
Yeah,
And
man.
denim clothing.
Denim clothing.
You still
Oh.
do that shit.
Jeans.
Yeah, well,
jeans,
if I could
yes.
wear jeans on my legs, I can wear them on my shoulders.
What do they call that? Denim Dan? It's Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian
That I
tuxedo.
know.
That's right.
That I know. I don't know that denim Dan.
Are we still playing this game that you said? I think there was a game.
Oh, there was
I
a
believe.
game, but I think we kind of skipped over
Well,
it.
the game was you had to pick one, and you
Oh,
did.
right. Okay. I'm just making sure.
You
Here
were
we are.
actually,
We don't actually have to play that.
You were actually incredibly resolute, as opposed. I thought there'd be a lot more flopping about. But I got a concert story. It's not a good concert story. Not for a band I even really wanted to see, but I won free tickets off the radio.
That's crazy.
I
Actually,
have a story
honestly,
about that too, but-
to win tickets on the radio, that's hard.
Yeah,
I've won them 2 or 3 times.
yeah. But it was for.
They're not great
Are
bands.
you guys
They weren't
like
a great
avid
band.
listeners?
I
It was the
back in
Rat,
the day,
and I just
sorta.
called.
I worked, at my job, so I'm on the road all day. So I just listen to the radio, call in. But I won tickets, and this is listen, make fun of me. It's a horrible band. Everclear.
That's awesome.
Everclear's all right.
That's
That
not the
is
worst.
gay.
That's not the worst thing I've ever heard.
No, that I'd be like, yeah, neat, like, because I enjoy
It could have been
Everclear.
Nickelback. That's fair.
They could have been.
Yeah, it could
It's
have
true.
So
Everclear-
this was because a lot of the local radio stations, if you're gonna win tickets, it's typically to like Starling Ballroom,
Yes.
which is where this show was. So
Central Jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Sayreville area.
it is Sayreville,
Yeah. And
I've seen
only have the
every
one hit.
last concert of E-Town Concrete there for
Oh,
5-10 years
I
running.
love E-Town, and plus I
enjoy
apologize,
E-Town, but
I
it's like-
apologize to interrupt you, but E-Town has been playing the last show for I believe 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I love E-Town Concrete, so we're clear.
yeah.
It's getting old now. Like,
That's fine.
Because I've seen a bunch of those. Though this is our last concert, I'm like, I know I did this last year, but sure, I'll go do
Yeah,
it
and now we
again.
have the Bouncing Souls.
Yeah. So I go. I couldn't even tell you who opened up for him. Doesn't really matter. They were fine as far as I can remember. The lead singer, I don't know his name.
Is that Art Alexis? Is that Everclear? Or am I
Sounds
thinking
made
of
up.
somebody? No, because there's that song. I can't really think of it right now.
Thank
But
you.
I think I know. I think that's the band that I'm thinking of. Is like
It's not Everlast.
no, not
yeah.
that guy.
But can it be?
Moses finally had a drink.
I wish it was.
No, I appreciate Everlast, but
Why?
that's more because of his CF donations.
Yeah.
Because his daughter or her son has CF.
Cystic
and-
fibrosis?
Yeah.
That's dark.
Oh, sorry. Well, that's why I appreciate it. It's not because of his lyrics.
All right, go ahead, Justin.
I'm going to this free concert that I won tickets for. And, whoever opened up was fine. I don't remember who it was. And then Everclear has to go on. And the singer is so fucked up that he's repeatedly falling over on stage. They had to bring out a chair for him to sit in.
At least he still did it, because a lot of people
Well,
cancel.
he did it until he nodded off.
Yeah.
And then they had to close down the show and refund us. Well, I didn't get refunded. I got free tickets to the next show.
Everclear
What were
is
you-
I'm still living with you.
What were you at a-
Go.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that
yes,
band.
yes.
Yeah, that's Art Alexis is the
Yeah,
lead
yeah,
singer.
Was that Kurt Cobain Nirvana show? What's going on here?
He was just so fucking trashed that they literally like, sorry, the band can no longer continue. And
That's
yeah.
kind of
How
shitty.
embarrassing, too.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I've seen
on.
Stone Temple Pilots back when Scott Weiland was still with him.
Oh, okay.
And, like, he put on great shows. I saw them, like,
Yeah.
you know
He
who
was-
puts on shitty shows? Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're
Yeah.
garbage. Like, they got, like, a lot of their albums are just all radio play, and they get money, but they are terrible in concert.
So,
terrible.
yeah, they don't need to be good.
Yeah,
They-
that concert was terrible.
They should
obviously.
be okay. Like, I do them at karaoke, and I'm better than whatever they perform.
Hey, actually, since we're talking about shows, if you don't mind me interjecting, Justin, were you done with your story? Because I don't want to interrupt.
Just let me have this last tidbit, and then you're on deck. So basically, like I said, I couldn't get refunded because I wanted tickets, so they gave me free tickets to the next show happening at Starland Ballroom, which was The Machine, the laser show cover band of
Florence of the Machine?
Pink Floyd.
Okay.
Even I knew what he was talking
Yeah.
about.
Well,
So I went up for that, and that was a much better time, even though there was only like 10 people there. They were all smoking weed, so it was a good time. Justin, you may go on.
All right, so what I wanted to say was I've never been to this show, but I heard it's a show. Apparently, Moses does, I believe, Eminem at karaoke.
Sometimes.
Oh, I've seen
do.
this.
Apparently, because
Yeah.
this could be a show, a good show, of what I heard.
Yeah. You do this very well.
Yeah, I
Don't
do.
be shy.
I
Let's
do
hear
do
it.
it very well, and
Go on.
the last time I think I did it, I won a $25 gift certificate to the bar I was at. But I promptly gave it to. There was another guy there doing like Frank Sinatra. Like he was better than me.
I'm sorry. Are you shifting this into a story about your altruism?
Yes, that's
I
what
don't
I'm all
believe that
about.
for a second.
This was that night.
Yeah, it was that night when I got pushed, and
Oh yeah,
it
that's
was
right.
that same
yeah.
night you got knocked
A
out.
fight.
You got
broke.
knocked out, and.
Yeah.
I heard
I
it's
did get
real
knocked
good.
out.
I heard
That
it's
was
real good
fucked
from what I
up.
hear.
I put out because there was a
He does
time
a great
in,
job. He
There
is
was a
really
time in
good.
Chicago that I had that whole fucking bar
I was
going,
gonna bring that up.
and like it was fun because it's good to be like because I'm not great, but it's not hard to be like it's hard to be bad on karaoke. It's really hard.
Yeah, the better part
I
of
don't
a
know if I'd
decade
agree
ago
with
when
that,
we were in
yeah.
Chicago, you owned that place.
Oh yeah,
That was
and,
solid.
And Bob had Bob has a
Oh,
part
yeah,
in that
Bob.
story.
Oh, Bob
'Cause
was there
That
for
was
that.
another time Bob was drunk,
Yeah.
and it's just like, man, like I get drunk regularly, and a little, I drink way too
Bob
much.
was
But Bob is in rare form.
Bob was present for that, and yes, I don't mean to overshadow. Your karaoke was phenomenal. That is no joke.
No, I got the
do
girl
that
in the
really well.
turquoise pants
And
going, so
yeah, I do not like to give you compliments, but you are phenomenal at that. Fucking,
I'm a showman.
Yeah, you did that. You did that phenomenally. But yeah, Bob absolutely was obsessed with the turquoise colored pants,
Yeah.
which really did overshadow your skills.
He
for
would
that.
like, and because she was because I was just walking around the bar because it was a wireless mic, so I got to walk around and because I
You
know
were
the
dancing up
goddamn
on
words. I
tables
do
and
this
shit.
kind of regularly.
Yeah.
So I don't need the karaoke.
I feel like we
word
need
thing,
to
but-
explain. You go ahead with your thing, but I feel like we do need to offer some sort of an explanation of the turquoise pants because that's confusing.
Essentially, what I was getting at is that all I hear about is that Moses can do the karaoke, like the full on Eminem. I don't know the
I
names
ad
of the songs.
lib. It's usually without me or.
Is it Godzilla? Is that what it is?
No, I don't do that one.
Oh, okay.
I tried learning that. I'm like, I'm too old.
But I heard
now.
it's
I'm too old.
fantastic. Whatever it is, it's
Like,
like
I'd
you see
love
him. You gotta
to-
go
I
see
would love to know Godzilla.
You gotta go see
but-
Moses doing this thing at
No, he does. He does Eminem. He does.
heard great things.
Switch it up.
Gorillaz
I do
sometimes.
Gorilla. I do.
Yeah.
I do. What the hell is his name? Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond.
Are you
I
one
do
thing?
AC/DC.
What'd you win?
For that one, I won a $25 gift certificate to the local bar.
Yeah.
Like-
so you say you won nothing essentially.
Oh well, I gave it away too, but it was also
Drinks.
not like I don't care. Like I'll pay for my drinks. It's fun.
Justin, would you be so kind as to explain the turquoise pants things? I feel like
right.
I'm not equipped to do so
right.
right
I
now.
don't think
I'm
I
pretty
am. I
deep in
just
the
know
drink.
of her.
All right. So this evening, this legendary evening at a bar
Frogs.
that Blue Frog,
Blue Frog,
22.
yeah. in Chicago.
I'm sure it
in,
doesn't exist anymore. I'm pretty sure.
No, they were redone when we went there. Like, I didn't realize this until after we got back. But they had like a restaurant
One of those
makeover
TV
kind of
show-
thing or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. I don't
Well,
know what circumstances it was, but
So, long story short, we kind of had to, one of our compatriots,
Bob.
no, not that. We'll just call him Sven.
Robert.
forgot he lost everything.
His credentials.
Yeah. He lost all his weed too, but we
Yeah.
found it on the way home.
Yeah, that
Which
was
is
stupid.
weird.
So, this is getting towards the end of our trip. It was like a week-long trip, essentially. And we made friends enough at this particular bar to be able to get our friend with the lost license in.
Antoine was our in.
Oh, yeah, the security
That
guard?
was he was our in for
Yeah.
that.
Sounds right.
So, so it wasn't like a night of celebration, you know. Moses is up there, he's doing karaoke, everybody's having a good time. There is this girl there with these turquoise pants.
They were
They
like
were jean-like.
turquoise
They
yoga
were jean-like.
pants.
Yeah.
I thought they were more jean-like.
They might have been, but they
Whatever.
were...
They were tight fitting pants. She was a good looking
They were.
girl.
She
And they
had-
were
she had-
turquoise.
They were the
great
proper-
ass.
they were the
Great ass,
proper,
and she filled them
Crayola
out
color.
perfectly.
They might as well have been painted on.
Yeah.
And listen, like, there wasn't a dude in there that didn't notice this.
Yeah, she wore it to be noticed,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
fair. She was a good looking girl.
Yeah.
She looked good in
Yeah.
these particular pants. That is true.
Well, Bob kind of degraded into his most primal self.
Yeah. There's a story after.
There are many. There are many.
It's the Black Panther story.
Wow.
You guys weren't away because
No,
me
no,
and
no, no,
Sven were smoking Bible joints, and you guys were all asleep. But that's when Bob started doing
Yeah,
his.
we
we'll
don't
get
need
to
to
that.
tell that story.
That's a funny story.
I'm into it.
So Bob starts doing like the Val Kilmer air bite thing.
He was biting the air because
right, he was.
He
Top
wanted this girl. I mean, like,
he wanted
let's be
to eat her.
honest.
He wanted to eat her like flesh
Yeah.
and all. Like, he's
This
just-
girl had she was dressed up in these pants and she looked phenomenal. She knew that.
Top
the
Gun
point
bite?
of it was to draw. It
Yeah.
was a Top Gun bite.
She was ice. He was
and
Iceman the
and
whole
the
time.
point, obviously, when a girl wears those pants, is to be noticed, and everybody noticed. But normally, if you're a guy,
You have a level of decorum, you hope.
yeah, you
Yeah.
don't go into full Val Kilmer mode on it. You don't start biting the air. And like aggressively.
Who's gonna know what that means?
Nah, I feel like everybody knows
we
that
knew
means.
what it meant.
It was primal. It was.
Because there was also another girl or two. I know they were a pair, and one was heavier than the other, and like
Oh,
they
we
were.
were trying to bang them.
Yeah, they wanted a band. Like
We
take
were
him
trying to
back.
make that happen,
We were
yeah.
trying to make it happen. Bob was like, "No, that's not happening."
But yeah, Bob also tried to walk through the wall.
Oh.
Oh, the doorway. Yeah.
Bob was also talking to the Polish exchange student.
You
Yeah.
need to.
There's a lot of this
To
that
me,
has to
these
be-
are the highlights. So the wall thing
This
is its
should
own
be a
thing.
topic.
I witnessed the wall thing.
I
no,
saw that too.
I actually missed.
You
the wall
were
thing.
outside talking about Prometheus with that homeless man for like hours.
Listen, Prometheus is a movie that warrants talking about with homeless people. I don't know what your problem is. You're
It was-
fucking homeless yourself.
It was bizarre. That's not what us homeless talk about. Is Prometheus because it's not that good of a movie.
Well,
You know
whatever.
what? Tell you what. I mean, that particular Chicago trip was so loaded up with stuff. Let's save that for another time because we can
That's
really
fair.
get into it then. That was like
That's its
7
own
or 8
story.
days.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you get a little teaser there, and we'll revisit that sometime soon. It'll
I like
be good.
that idea.
Can I talk about the show that I got kicked out of before getting in?
I'd love
Yeah,
that.
please.
I went to I won tickets, or like me and a group of friends won tickets for it was Leonard Skinner and whoever was playing with them. And it's like, all right, fine, we'll go see Leonard Skinner.
Haven't they been dead since the 70s?
I mean, most of them, but like, they still play.
Their
so
plane
whatever.
crashed.
Like
I think they all died.
I went just because we won them, they're free. So I was like, why not go?
Leonard?
So I could go get fucked up. So we, it's with the same couple that I went to the Grateful Dead show with. And the wife, like we were drinking and we got wasted well before we even drove there.
Same amount
And
of
then-
drugs?
Huh?
Same amount of drugs?
No, it was, there might have been weed.
30 sheets of.
Yeah, all the
There
sheets,
might have
all
been
the
there
things.
might have been weed, but it was mostly alcohol because we get up to like where you're trying to get in and they kind of search you and whatever.
Yeah.
And like the female, she had a 6-pack in her purse,
The lady.
and they're like, no, you can't bring that in. So she takes one out, goes back up, and they're like, no, you still can't take that in. And like she did this 6 times. They let her in. I get up to the gate, and they're like, no, you're too drunk. Like I'm not even bringing beer in or trying to.
Yeah, you're only gonna get more sober.
Yeah, and it was just like, and so then they pulled me out because I was arguing. I'm like, how am I too drunk for a Leonard Skinner concert? Like, say it out loud to me. Say it out loud again, because listen to yourself. How stupid is this? So like, I don't get in right off. I get brought to the med tent.
Yep.
Because I'm supposed to be getting arrested.
Yep.
And I'm drunk. I'm so drunk that, like,
This is like show jail. This is show jail, if you will.
Yeah, it is like a show jail.
Show
and
jail.
I get brought to their fucking whatever, and there's somebody else sitting there already. And, like, because the show hasn't even started, but they already have somebody there before me.
Yeah.
And, like, we're sitting in this vestibule kind of area, like, where you would be processed. Like, it gave off a lot of, like, cop vibes, but there was nobody there. Like, it was just me and him, and I'm like, oh, and then I just like, why, what are we doing here? Like, what is this?
You just leave.
And he's like, oh, we're going to get arrested. And I'm like, well,
Okay, then I'll leave.
that's what he said, and that's what I did. I'm like, well, fuck that, there's nobody here. I'm just leaving, and I walked out.
Show jail.
And I was just like, why, like, I'm sad that I sat there so long, because the show jail is inside the venue. I got in.
Yeah.
Like, and so I went around and, like, I tried to find them because they went in and, like, fair, you know, but it was also bewildering to me that, like, she went 6 times up.
Oh.
And they were like, no, you're okay to go in. Me just being, like, and I wasn't being a dick yet until they started talking to me. Then I got, like, why can't I get in? Because I'm too drunk? It's that Leonard Skinner concert. Like, they're fucking wasted.
Yeah. I don't know why you're going to see a.
It was a free ticket. Like, why not?
That's fair. All right.
It's the summer. It's better than just sitting at home playing GoldenEye.
for free, is what you're saying.
Well, I didn't even get arrested. I just walked out of there and I tried doing that a couple other times when I actually got arrested. And one time I kind of worked. Like, I still got I still had to go to court, but they were fine with me walking out. But most of the time they're like, no, you stay here.
No, this shit's legit.
No, I still got to tell you, and they were gonna keep me, but they couldn't find me.
Well, if they
'Cause
can't find you. They got to serve you then.
Yeah, and that's what happened. And I had to pay a ticket, but I didn't get in trouble for just leaving after I was arrested.
Yeah.
Because I knew who I was. They know where I live. They picked me up there.
I didn't know who I was. I knew who I was.
Times are tough at the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was some stories, man.
Yeah. I enjoy
Fucking
that.
Stories. Justin, you got anything to tie us off with at the end here?
I mean, not really. I mean, I've been hit at some shows, which was inappropriate. You know, it wasn't. It didn't matter what it was. You know, you got hit. I got hit on sometimes, but it's here nor there.
It's kind of part of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you're going to a fucking New York hardcore show, that's a thing that happens.
I have a
And
fun
that's your
story
genre.
with Nancy, my wife. We were going to
My wife.
My wife. Very nice.
Very
My
nice.
life.
Yes.
We were
Tell me
going
your
to
story, yeah.
what is it, Streetlight Manifesto show, and it was at fucking Rich Taco Center. Like, it was
Oh,
really
Jesus.
shitty.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like, I got a couple of stories.
It's a
for
rough
this.
spot. This
say
is Tom's
Streetlight
River, New
Manifesto?
Jersey, by the way.
Yeah, they're all rich.
You said Streetlight Manifesto, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And what was it? Mephistopheles.
Mephistopheles.
Mephistopheles, yeah. It's the name
they
of-
were opening
You went
the
to
band.
goddamn Catholic school. How do you not know
Well, it's
what the
they
name-
like the devil only plays a fiddle to me.
I'm gonna.
Oh my god, you remember that, but you can't remember the goddamn name of the Dark Lord. Go ahead.
Anywho, there was a fight. Like, we were standing on the outskirts. Me and Nancy, I think. There were 2 other people there. I won't mention their names. But and we were just like hanging out. Like, we're having fun, but it's like not a drinking venue either because it's a high school.
It's a goddamn high school. Yeah.
And
It's a no drugs or alcohol.
it was
zone.
it was oversold, and they started just like giving out something about, like, because the actual ticket cost was higher than the extra charge, the tax charge.
Oh my God.
And it was like the tickets are $5, but I got to pay an extra $15 because of service fees. And
We live in
nonsense.
New Jersey, friend.
Oh,
We all gotta eat. I don't know how
I
that
exist
works.
in New
but-
Jersey. I don't know if I would call it living.
Get it out, girl.
But and so there were 2 girls. Like, one girl got jumped, and Nancy just ripped this fucking the girl that was the aggressor.
Your girl's got
ripped
the
her
height.
off.
Yeah.
And this was back before she broke her shoulder. She's just picked that girl up and threw her to the side.
I wouldn't fuck with your lady.
Stop
She's
doing
a tough
that.
girl.
Nancy,
Just be cool. And it was I'm oh, it's a punk show. I get that. No, that girl was getting accosted, but it was a girls' fight, so I'm not jumping into
No,
that.
you
because-
can't jump in on that. But
Nancy
your
the
lady
nurse?
can.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, shit. It's good to know how to hurt people, because that way you can you know how to heal them.
Do it right.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck? Like, are we getting kicked out of here? Because you threw her like a good 5-10 feet.
Yeah, but Nancy's a pretty white girl, and you get thrown out of shit before you get in because you look like a piece of shit.
She broke that up real fucking quick. And I know the girl that was getting the shit kicked out of her deserved it from what the talk that I heard amongst the crowd that was like cheering or actually doing it. It was a cheating thing. Like, she's been sleeping with this girl's boyfriend or something.
I don't like nobody playing on my phone.
Oh man, they were milking the wrong cow.
Wow. No thing.
Wow.
You brought it too far.
I don't know what that means, but I'm going to think about it. That's what I got.
I got others.
I'm out of stories, so
I know I have more, but
think we're ready to close out.
Well, gentlemen, we probably have to do another one of these episodes because I've been to over 100 shows and I haven't opened my mouth since I was reading off the thing.
We'll get you in for a special one yourself.
Yeah.
But we're out of time. Yeah. So, to all of you who are listening to this podcast, we hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you're subscribing to this podcast. Leave us a 5-star review. Check us out on YouTube and Rumble. Make sure that you are liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Please, love of God, do it. You can also follow us on social media. We are at Loud and Drunk on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you enjoyed this podcast, then become a Loud and Drunk supporter at loudanddrunk.locals.com and patreon.com/loudanddrunk. So, Moses, closing thoughts.
keep on rocking in the free world.
You son of a bitch.
Wow. It's really offensive.
I'm glad. It makes me happy.
I hope you get thrown in a trash can. You can't go to school.
You will. It'll happen.
I would never accept a membership to a club that would accept me as a member.
Great.
Jesus Christ, Mark Twain.
Great.
Justin,
Retro Marks.
Justin, closing thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just writing down on my notes right now for next week's things that pissed me off. Moses. Okay. Good chat, everybody. Justin, it was a pleasure to have here. Love that guy. And, good times, boys.
Gaylord Perry.
Thank you so much for having me. It was not about baseball, and that's okay. I would just like to give a shout out to, honestly, to the person who preceded me, Jimmy Houston Davenport.
And Willie Mays.
Willie Mays, absolutely. Fantastic interfieldman. Am I saying it right?
That is not a thing.
I know very little
how does it go?
sports, but I know that's not a thing.
How does it go? Yeah.
All right, you've exposed yourself already, so I think we'll just move on. But thank you for coming on to the show, like you do every week.
So much.
Can we do whoever he is, talk sports? I don't know anything about that. You don't know a goddamn thing.
I would love to. Listen, as a professional ball player, the answer is yes.
And also, thank you for joining us, Justin the Mechanic. Do you have any closing thoughts?
I appreciate being on the podcast, boys. I love each and every one of you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Love you.
Love you too, baby.
So, for Moses, Justin, Gaylord Perry, and Justin the Mechanic, I am producer Dan. I was only just really a producer in this podcast. That's why I call myself producer Dan, if you were ever confused about that.
What is a producer?
Yeah, also...
Guys, we're out of time. Thank you.
Kramer, boys. Close us out.
Thank you for joining us, and until next time, this is Loud and Drunk.